Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Ballchat. Greetings, football lovers. Happy Football Sunday to the family. Welcome to Ballchat Podcast, the episode before Christmas. My name is Benton, along with the family. The meals are running the asylum today. Junior Wagwan family, welcome back, brother.
The Grinch is back.
What a long time, I see you. Long time. How you doing, family? How you doing?
And you know what for do our due diligence and also play our part in society, right? So for all those who are not protecting themselves, I'm making you know right now. I am protecting myself and I am vaccinated, but I got about a COVID last week, so that they put me out last week. Finally back on the and feel like I can join the boss right there, so some high pressing. So people, take care of yourself, you know, this COVID thing real. Don't play with it. You're not strong like Junior, so nobody try to take it out like me.
We respect, family. Junior, you said you had a bout of COVID like Manchester United players. How strange. Manchester United have an infestation, and the Manchester United fan also suffered from the same virus. So you guys passing it around, so brother?
Well, I did go and help Ole Pack still, so.
All right, family. Welcome to Ballchat Podcast. I really thank you guys for joining us. This is the last show, of course, before Sunday, before Christmas. We'll go ahead and discuss the EPL, get the news and thoughts of the EPL weekend's action and midweek action in the EPL. We'll also discuss the potential for a pause and play. The EPL owners and stakeholders will meet tomorrow to discuss the COVID situation. We'll talk about that later on. We'll also take a look at the landscape of things in La Liga and Serie A as Napoli took on AC Milan in a very entertaining match. Big up to Scamacca of Sassuolo as he scored again. Big up to Scamacca and Sassuolo as they're doing wonderful in the Scudetto. We'll also wrap up with Yard Ballers, a truncated version of Yard Ballers, because Camon is not here today. Come on and enjoy herself reffing a game. So, watching yourself, the fans, because come on, might give some calls in favor of another team. Football family, we start with ballers and bugs. You have ballers, send them on. Ballers being the impressive players, bugs being the unimpressive players. I want to reiterate, I really appreciate you guys joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Meals running the thing today. Junior, we have as the ball of the week, family.
Well, you know, my ball of the week, I would talk about it at nauseum. We have a big up Pep and the job that he's doing with no recognizable striker, right? Or no striker that he trusts. He doesn't have a number 9, but still City is scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring and finding ways to score. So I have to give it to Man City and to Pep. For yes, they're winning games that they should. They're beating up Leeds, beating up this, beating up Newcastle, beat up all them little side here. But it's the way that they're doing it. And big up to Sean. Sean said earlier that seems to be Pep's MO. Start slow and just gently work his way up into a fever pitch that you see Man City is playing at right now. So big up to Pep and Man City for just being on a scoring tier.
Yeah, so that's the only ball of the week, family.
Only ball of the week.
Only ball of the week. Big up to Pep. All right, my ballers. I will go ahead and highlight some ballers. You know, Junior is recovering, so we're going. You know, he doesn't have a lot of ballers to highlight. So my ballers of the week. I have a couple ballers that I want to highlight. Big ball of the week to Arsenal. Yes, I said it. Arsenal Football Club and Mikel Arteta. What is it, Junior? 3 games, 3 victories, 9 points on the trot in 7 days. That's impressive. That deserves a ball of the week. Victory over West Ham, victory over Bug Leeds, and yes, victory over Southampton. So big up yourself, Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. Before Arsenal fans send me any hate mail, I want to give them ball of the week. Ball of the week to Ocampos of Sevilla. Ocampos of Sevilla scored the winning goal at the death. Exceptional football game between Sevilla and Atletico Madrid. Ocampos was fantastic, scoring at that 89th and 98th minute goal to seal that victory for Julian Lopetegui's Sevilla team. So ball of the week to him. And I also want to give a big ball of the week to my baller, Scamacca, man from Sassuolo. Not a beautiful goal today for Sassuolo. They drew with Fiorentina 2-2 in the Scudetto. So big up to Scamacca and the entire Sassuolo family as he gets a ball of the week. All right, let's keep family I see you running in. Big up Dalton. Dalton said Junior. He's back. Well, Dalton said ball of the week is Allison. A man getting buggy bus and get ball of the week, Junior. Junior, who you have as the bug family?
Yo, you know, my bug is going to go to two organizations, but I soon get the organization them. But Chelsea, what the hell is going on at Chelsea? No, seriously, what is going on? At the start of the season, we sit down and I would joke about how Chelsea have two full squads, right?
Yes, we joked about it. Yes.
Starting 11.
Yes.
So what happened over the last 3 weeks? Yes, I know teams go through ebbs and flows, but I think the real Thomas Tuchel is starting to show up. He already started to show up. Now, they had a good run in the Champions League and got the Champions League, won the Champions League his first half season, right? But ever since then, with that roster, what the hell, Chelsea? What the hell? Why are they bugging up? It's a Champions League. They're for the scrap Champions League right now. Because what the hell happened in that drive? What the hell happened? Me don't want to hear nothing about well, you know, make mistake and Atletico Madrid and Manchester United should have done the pot together and blah, blah, blah. No. Something happened. Somebody said, yo, we need Ronaldo versus Messi again. All right, Man U versus PSG. And then them figured say it's being streamed. They're forgetting that the rules are all over the place for how the pot should be set. Everybody knew Man U and Atletico Madrid was supposed to see a pot, and it never happened. So you the whole Europa Council just cancel Champions League and the Premier League, the English FA. What the hell? We see this COVID pandemic. We know it's our second year after COVID pandemic, and we see it coming. We see the cases coming. Why the hell do they just say shut the league down for 2 weeks and then we'll recover and then start back? No, postponement. We see that the league is going to come to a screeching halt again. We see it. But no, them want the Boxing Day money. Them want the Christmas money. We can't lose the TV rights. We have to figure it out. And then what's going to happen? All of these Champions League teams are going to end up playing 3 games, are probably 5 games in 14 days because they have to make up. Them have to make up them games in the league. And you know Champions League is not going to say, okay, you guys have so many games, we'll move your one Champions League tie, knockout round. So no. English FA, whoever run Champions League, UEFA, they want and Chelsea, what the hell?
Junior has been away, family, so we have to give him some time to get the bugs of the week off his chest. He has a laundry list of bugs, as them says, an infestation. Big up Dalton. Dalton says ball of the week is Allison, even though he made that mistake. And he says, I hate to say it, Arsenal gets a ball of the week from Dalton. Dalton also giving bug of the week to Paul Tierney and VAR plus Chelsea. Big up to Percy at Sazul. Big up yourself, family. Cash Red, bless up. Family running in. Football family, subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Cash Red said Chelsea don't cry no more. It's good to be already. Wipe your tears. Liverpool, too many. Man City, bye. What? It's Christmas carol. Cash Red right in here, Junior. Is this a Christmas carol? Cash Red, put the Christmas carol tune forward. Bugs of the week, family, football family, really appreciate you joining us. We're in the Ballers and Bugs segment. we're discussing some of the highlights, impressive players of the week, and we're also discussing the unimpressive players of the week. So if you have ballers and bugs, send them on. We'll go ahead and highlight those statements that you sent on. And also really appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Bugs of the week. Bugs of the week. For me, 2 bugs of the week. Paul Tierney, have to give him, and the VAR official, have to give them bug of the week. I don't remember who was, it was Kavanaugh that was in the VAR booth, but the inconsistencies with the calls today. I mean, Robertson deserved a red card, but so does Harry Kane. Both of them to get a red card. And it's just abysmal how VAR was brought in to address these issues. And it's like among them, they are afraid to make the call. And I heard someone said something that, Harry Kane is not a dirty player, or alluded to reputation. And maybe that person is making the assumption that because of the Harry Kane's reputation and his name is the reason why he didn't get a red card. It doesn't matter. If it's a red cardable offense, Tierney and company should have given Harry Kane the red card. So bugs of the week for those two, for the officiating crew today in the Liverpool versus Spurs matchup. And also, bug of the week to Joao Felix. Joao Felix is a talented player, a youth. You have skill. And, Atletico Madrid spent, 137 million pounds or whatever to secure your services from Benfica. But Joao Felix, you cannot play one side of the football. You cannot only want to play attack, especially if you're playing a Diego Simeone system. Joao Felix was culpable in the winning goal that Ocampo scored on Atletico Madrid yesterday, as he just fell asleep, ignored Ocampos, and let Ocampos had a free shot on Oblak's goal. So Joao Felix, clean up your act, brother, else you won't last very much longer at Atletico Madrid. You have to be able to play both sides of the ball. So those are my bugs of the week. Junior, you have any other bugs you want to highlight before we get to our EPL roundup?
I really want to give Dele Ali a bug of the week.
No, don't do it. Don't. I thought Dele had a good game. He's been in the asylum for a long time. He had a good game.
But Dele is at fault for Jata's goal.
Yeah, but it's too different. All right, let's just get to our EPL roundup. Let's just pivot to it. I'm starting with the big game. Top of the table. Well, not top of the table. Because Spurs is nowhere near top of the table. Liverpool versus Spurs ended 2-2. Son, Kane, Jota, some of the goal scorers in this game. I mean, your thoughts on the game, Junior? I thought it was a proper football game.
Yeah, VAR and referee mistakes aside, right? It was a good contest. Let me just put it that way. It was a good contest, and I'm picking my words wisely right now because I think it was more Liverpool waiting for Tottenham to run out of gas than it was a fair contest, right? It was to me, it was Klopp looking at his troops and saying, we know that Tottenham is going to come out hard. We know Conte going to have his players juiced up to play. Let us ride the wave and pick our times, right?
Yeah.
But Tottenham was very organized for the most part. And they did play a good attacking game. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would think that this is 2 points loss. If I was a Tottenham fan, I'll be very happy with the 1 point. That's why it looked good. It looked like a very good football game, but when you really dive down into what really happened, I would be disappointed as a Liverpool fan that Tottenham really only used 2 players and attackers the whole game, right? Just Harry Kane and Son on a counter-attack. That was the game plan, right? And they isolated Konate, right? That was the whole plan. I would be concerned that we could have waited out Tottenham. Again, VAR and refereeing aside. Jota had his chances. Mane had his half chances, but couldn't convert them early. But it was a weird game. It looked like Tottenham played like they had something to prove, while Liverpool played like they have bigger things to worry about.
So, I mean, my take on the game, I thought I enjoyed the game, with all the suspended games and, watching Leeds getting run off the field by Arsenal. I thought it was a good fixture, to wrap up the weekend. I thought Spurs had so many chances. Hurricane, all the Hurricane fanboys out there need to acknowledge that Hurricane need to improve his efficiency in front of goal. This is just abysmal. This is England's number 1 or England's number 10 high valued goalkeeper, goal scorer, high end sort of player for England and for Tottenham. What, $200 million transfer is the rumored asking price for Spurs for his services when Man City was interested. You have to score those goals. There were sitters that he missed. And I think that if Tottenham had converted their chances, they would have won this by a mile. And Antonio Conte said that after the game. He said, you know what, when you look at the totality of the game, to paraphrase, he felt like leaving at 1 point is a bit disappointing. He said they played a top club, but he felt like, they should have taken those 3 points. So you're seeing the effects of the Tottenham, of the improvement in Tottenham with Antonio Conte so far. In terms of work, it's five. They went 5-3-2 in a very flat back line.
No, hold on. Conte's preferred system is 3-5-2, right?
Yeah, but they don't have the players for that.
I agree, right? But I want to see Tottenham follow up this game, right? Because you can't look at this and say, oh, Tottenham is turning the corner. They just did well against Liverpool.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not saying turn the corner. No, I'm saying, are we seeing the impact or effects of Conte?
No. And not even turn the corner.
Okay.
We're not seeing the effects of any coach.
Okay.
But Tottenham playing against. You are supposed to play like that as a professional footballer. You should come out and play like your hair is on fire, and you're not going to get tired in 90 minutes against a Liverpool. Let me see the follow-up, right? Because remember, that is what hurt Nuno. That's what hurt Jose. That's what ultimately killed Poch. Poch would beat Man City in the Champions League, right? But then come back and lose to Everton 3-1.
Okay.
4-1, right? So it's consistency. Yes, we see semblance of Conte ball against Liverpool today, right? What will they do against the side that they should beat?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because Keane and Son look like a baller today, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Keane should have converted his chances. Don't let Dele off the hook. Dele should have scored.
Yeah, right? Dele should have scored. I thought Alisson made when I saw the replay, the goal bigger than the goalie. Right. And ultimately, with that space, one would hope that a professional footballer would, just put the ball away. But I thought Alisson made a good save, a very good fingertip save, because that one was going in.
I said Dalton said a weakened Liverpool. None of the starting midfielders were involved, right? So you have to look at it through a different lens. But you expected Liverpool to win the game, right? And even when Tottenham went up, I was there like, okay, Liverpool. When Jota scored, here we go. Liverpool over turn up the style, right?
Uh-huh.
And the X's and O's of the game, you see Conte playing a flat, narrow back five, right?
Uh-huh.
Your question you have to ask yourself was, what was he protected? He's protected Eric Dyer. He doesn't have a center back that he feel comfortable with. So anytime you see the wing backs got pulled, that's when Liverpool looked the most threatening, was when they spread that back five out. So yes, if you're a Tottenham fan, I'm not throwing water on your performance.
Yeah, don't bring your salt. Manchester United self dog up the man and thing. They are happy and felt like they should have gotten the 3 points.
Well,
They against a very Liverpool's weakened midfield. We can admit that, but Liverpool, even with a weakened team, is no slouch. Mentality of this Liverpool outfit that Klopp has built in this culture is that next man step up and deliver. So I mean, like you said, they could have faded away, as typically Spurs do.
right. And you saw, like I said, Mane had a couple half chances, right? When he got behind the defense, and they were hard chances. But you're expecting Mane to do better with it, right? What's his name? Keita had a shot at the 18-yard box that somehow you wonder how he never connect good. So you saw where Liverpool had some chances. You saw where I was expecting it. I was expecting Salah at some point to isolate Dyer and skin him alive.
Well, and so what happened though? Sessegnon,
yes,
he had help on Salah. One of the midfielders will drift over to really kind of prevent him from getting into that running speed to go running. I mean, I give context credit, but I will acknowledge that he said, it's one game. Let's do it next game. Let's do it a couple games in a row. So I will give them some credit, because Liverpool is not Arsenal, all right? It's a different sort of animal. Now looking from the Liverpool perspective, Junior, Klopp was very ticked off, rightfully so, about the Harry Kane tackle. Junior, first and foremost, do you think this should have been a red card?
With replays in football, yes, it should have been. You know, I'm not the biggest Liverpool fan, but with replays in football, it should have been. Now, in real time, it looked like a full-blooded forward attacker's tackle, right? When you look at the replay, look at how the boot was high and blah, 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 blah. It's an obvious red card. But the letter of the law is clear and obvious error, right?
Yeah, why this clear obvious thing?
No, because that's the thing. The VAR ref is saying that, because this is why I love Champions League version of VAR, right? You have no idea what they see. You have no idea anything. It's just VAR check complete, continue, right?
Yeah.
When we get to see the replay, it's not one VAR ref we're dealing with. We're dealing with how much millions
of eyes. Yes.
Refs sitting down and watching and saying, wait, you know what? In my eyes, that's definitely a red card. Hey, boy, Paul, you need to check that. But the voice that counted is the VAR ref. And he said, for me, yes, it is a red card, right? But playing devil's advocate, the VAR ref probably look at Paul and say, hey, Paul, you might want to look at this one, because it does look kind of high. What do you think? And Paul said, well, I interpreted it that was a full-blooded challenge, but there was no intent there. VAR ref said, okay, well, is that a clear, obvious danger? Go ahead. Is that a clear, obvious error? Keep going.
And therein lies one of the issues, right, in the EPL, is that they worry about re-refereeing the game.
Right.
Isn't that the way? So Jurgen Klopp said on a red card for Harry Kane, he says, quote, yes, definitely you can give Robbo a red. It's not the smartest challenge, but that is definitely a red card. No doubt about it. His leg was in the air. It was pure coincidence. Harry cannot judge it. If Robbo's leg is on the ground, it is a broken leg. We have VAR there, and he thinks have a look again at Robertson again. Fine, that's where he is there for. But what did he do in that situation? And then there's a penalty situation with Diego Jota. Tierney also gave Klopp a yellow card. I just don't understand this reluctance to just say, brother, this is a red cardable offense, it's just come off the field.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, Liverpool got hosed there on the penalty. Do you think that was a penalty, Junior? The Diogo Jota. Klopp says regarding that penalty, he says, quote, Mr. Tierney told me Diego stopped on purpose because he wants the foul. First and foremost, if you want to shoot, you have to stop because you cannot do both, end quote.
Clap. Jurgen. We don't need that deep. We don't need that deep of an explanation. Referees cannot sit down there and say, well, you know, you did look like you were going to stop playing. So even though the guy fouled you, because you look like you stopped playing, you weren't playing football.
Yeah,
we don't need the science, Club.
Yes.
Referees were against you. You had some terrible calls. That was a penalty in the foul.
Yeah, it's a foul. It's an absolute foul, and I don't know if they asked Antonio Conte about these decisions after the game, and Antonio Conte was quick to point out he doesn't want to speak anything about the referee. I hope Antonio Conte will remember this when his team is getting hosed. But it's symbolic.
Dejan says intent shouldn't matter. The action and repercussion should. Harry Kane talks about winning the ball. He should try and win some trophies. Very overrated striker.
What? Junior, Jamie Carragher, former Liverpool great, of course, Jamie Carragher and others spoke about this. And there seems to be the suggestion that player recognition, certain players, as in a Harry Kane, because who he is, got a pass on that. If it was some regular player, like a junior, you would have gotten a red card. Do you think that's what I'd play here, or Tierney just missed it?
All right. What for break it down more, and there are more answers to that question, because that was Hurricanes and Liverpool fans on the door kill me. I agree it should have been a red card. On the door kill me. But for the flow of the game, some tackles, because of the way how the game is flowing, some tackles can be deemed more vicious than others. Our one tackle can be deemed vicious because of the way the flow of the game versus the same tackle happening in another game when the game flow is different, right? I don't think necessarily it's because it's Harry Kane why I never get the red card.
Okay.
I think it's because it was a striker. It was a striker's tackle. Because we joke about striker's tackle, we joke about defender's shots, we joke about stuff like that. The referees are human too. Let me see it that way. So them sit Harry Kane, he probably, and again, I agree it should be a red card. I agree. But Paul could have said in the back of his mind, that's just Harry Kane playing to the tempo of the game and playing hard and lost his mind a little bit. That's his first bad tackle for the game, his first offense. All of these things play in, there's no malice, there's no aggression between the players prior to that. So yes, we have to look at it on the tackle's merit only. And based on the tackle, it was the first tackle, and Harry Kane is that striker playing hard, running in full-blooded, right? But no, it sounds skeptical, Benton, but the referees think the same way.
Nah, referee needs to forget who's making the tackle. The letter of the law says, brother, it's a dangerous tackle. Your foot, your studs go into the other man's foot. No touching the ball. Come off of the field. It's just simple.
I agree, and that's why I say again, is replay make it obviously a red card.
Yeah. I mean, and
not make it inexcusably, because years ago it would have been, Harry Kane he's a very lucky boy there.
Yeah.
referee saw it from a different angle, it would have been a clear red, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that you have the replay,
Yes, yes.
look at the replay and say, okay, what happened here? Yeah, it should have been a red.
Yeah, and that's the perplexing thing about these two red cardable offenses, right? The Robertson offense, the official went and looked at it, right? And so then this offense, it's just go look at it, and then make the decision. But yeah, we don't beat a dead horse. It is what it is.
But hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. You know though, Kane might have known. I mean, the Kane tackle. Paul might have heard at halftime that Kane got away with one that should have been a red card.
Okay.
And then Robertson tackle happened. The VAR ref said this was identical to Kane's tackle. Take a look at this.
That even making no more sense. Yes, it was reckless, him coming in and sweep out the brother unnecessarily. And actually, that was boneheaded by Robertson. No need to do that. I mean, no idiotic play. And now he got a straight red card. He's gonna miss a few games. They'll have a lot to discuss. The inconsistencies around these decisions by Paul Tierney today leave a lot to be decided. Yeah. Football family, welcome to Ball Chat. Big up Marshall Mullins. Big up yourself, family. Junior, taking a look at some other scores that in this weekend's action. Of course, most of the games were postponed because of COVID. We'll discuss that now shortly. Man City beat the brakes off Newcastle 4-0. Wolves, Chelsea in a boring football game. Leeds lost to Arsenal 4-1. Junior, is Marcelo Bielsa in the hot seat here? He got 7 from Man City, and now they pick up 4 from 4-1 from Arsenal.
Is he in the hot seat? No, because what Leeds did last year should not have been seen as the expectation of the North, right? I think about it. What was the big change that Leeds made? Leeds only made one really big change, bringing in Daniel James, right? No, it sounds funny, but that is their big marquee signing, right? So what the hell would they expect? Daniel James
not to get 7 Junior and then followed up getting 4-1 from, and granted they have players out. Fair enough. They have players out.
No, but Benton, from last season, what was Leeds' Achilles heel? They couldn't stop water from going uphill, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, they were scoring so many goals when they have a striker that cannot hit the side of a barn from 5 yards away, right? So they were an enigma last year. I don't think they were any big side last year. They just, sometime you find a team will come up 1 year in the Premier League and just have a Hull City moment. When them just run away and get some good results, right? But their Achilles heel was still there. They did nothing to fix your defensive leakage last year, right?
Yeah.
And everybody know Leeds want to maintain possession. They want to play high-octane football. Well, welcome to the Premier League, Bielsa, where if the tape is out of you, teams are going to prepare for you. So guess what? You are not going to hold the ball 70% of the time, high pressing and playing high-octane football against us, and we're going to pressure your defense. So I think they are more a casualty of the fat cat syndrome, thinking that they have a roster good enough to maintain a certain level of consistency. And it don't work like that.
Yeah.
Yes, you had a good year last year. You should have made your roster stronger. They should have cashed in on my boy, Kelvin
Phillips.
They should have cashed in on him and turned him into 3 players.
Okay.
Right? And build a squad. I think that's what happened. And Daniel James is just signing.
Looking at, before we get to the EPL table at Christmas, just to remind listeners about The scores in midweek action: Chelsea drew with Everton 1-1. Liverpool defeated Newcastle 3-1. Brighton lost to Wolves 1-0. Crystal Palace Southampton drew 2-2. Arsenal defeated West Ham 2-0. Of course, Leeds lost to Man City. And Norwich lost to Aston Villa. Junior, Chelsea. Let's pivot to Chelsea. Is Chelsea officially out of this title race? Or is it too early? It's what, match day 19? Is it too early to say?
It's too early. It's too early because I think City eventually going to have that rut where them can't score as well. Because all of these, all right, you see the fixture crunch that we are about to go through? The real fixture crunch. We're not talking about Boxing Day fixture crunch. We're talking about COVID fixture crunch, right? Chelsea have a squad that can handle rough fixed scheduling, right?
Yeah.
City can't handle that. Liverpool can't handle that, right? So no, the title race isn't over. However,
no, not the title race. Is Chelsea out of it? Is it a two-horse race now?
Oh, Chelsea's title race is not over because they have the squad that when City have to rest players and start a weakened team in a match that they have the next 3 days, Chelsea can start a strong 11, a strong fit 11 once everybody is available. So no, but it is concerning.
Looking at the table at Christmas, Man City sitting on 44 points. Third time they would lead the table at Christmas. Liverpool on 41 points. Arsenal and Chelsea round out the top four. Junior, speaking of Chelsea, manager Thomas Tuchel spoke and was pretty ticked off. Spoke about requesting postponement of today's game against Wolves. Unfortunately, the EPL didn't give in, and so they had to play the game. Do you think he was a bit distracted? They ended up dropping 2 points against a Wolves team. Yes, Wolves is a competitive outfit, but you think that Tuchel should focus on coaching the team and stop, knowing that these postponements are not guaranteed. They have what, seven infections?
Before that, big up Marsha. Marsha Mulling says that if Chelsea out, Liverpool out too, Cashew Red said Man City can't score goals. Let me say something else. Big up D-Wise. Let me tell you something. Tuchel can come out today and say the sun rises in the west and sets in the east and Mars doesn't exist. Him can say all that thing, but the Chelsea players still have to go out there and play a football game. So just because Tuchel says something or seem like his focus might be elsewhere, the man can ride and whistle to, him can still coach him side during a game. Chelsea is just in a bad rut of form. That is all that is going on with Chelsea. It have nothing to do with Tuchel. It have nothing to do with COVID. It have nothing to do with... All it have to do with is the players just seem to can't get right for the last 3 weeks. So we can't sit down and try pretty it up and Tuchel seems to have his focus elsewhere. That's the reason why Mason Mount can't score. No, I'm sorry.
Junior. All right. So where did it all went wrong 3 weeks ago for Chelsea? Or 4 weeks ago? Is there a singular thing that you can identify that is the fundamental problem here, or is just everything is bad at this moment?
The Man U diehard fan in me and people say I'm a hater will point if I was to point to the Lukaku signing, would I say, I'm just hating on Lukaku because I feel a way about that. So that's a low hanging fruit. I'm not going to pull that fruit, right? The fruit that I'm going to pick is this. Why do we think Chelsea is supposed to play at Man City level? Is it just because they had the one little Champions League run during a pandemic? Think about it.
I will respond. But
That is my question. Like, it's still the same Chelsea will get Frank Lampard fired, right? It's the
Yeah,
same.
but Junior, this is, granted, they have players out. And we spoke about the fact that they have two sides, essentially. This team and this manager, Thomas Tuchel is a proper football manager. All right, he knows his stuff. He knows what he does. Defensively, there are too many issues now for me defensively, and Angola Kante is too huge of a miss. When he missed games, especially him and the combo of him and Mateo Kovacic, that midfield is pretty much weakened, and the backups, whether it's Saul or Jorginho, they can't seem to carry a Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They cannot seem to fit and carry it on against soft soap teams. So that's why I label I label that's what I attribute to the recent slump in form. But I expect them to do well, as not score as many goals as Man City, but defensively, they're a pretty well compact team from last year. He sets himself up, his team up quite well defensively.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. But when you said Thomas Tuchel is a proper coach, prior to this, Thomas Tuchel was always been the coach that cannot get the job done, because they're not going to count the League One titles under PSG as any big accomplishment. You are supposed to win under PSG. You're supposed to win the League One title, right? But you couldn't win the Champions League.
yeah.
Now you come and win the Champions League again. I'm gonna say it again. You won the Champions League in a pandemic year. It's an asterisk Champions League.
Don't bother with them asterisk talk. They leave them on them Champions League alone.
No,
They want it fair and square. No asterisk thing around here.
Better, I'm giving him his Champions League. He won the Champions League. But you see how Man City playing them ball? I would say, we expect this from Man City. You see how Liverpool are playing them ball? I would say, we expect this from Liverpool. Why do we expect Chelsea to not be Chelsea anymore? It's just Chelsea being Chelsea for the last 10 years.
I think they will get it right. Thomas Tuchel. The problem I have, and you said about Thomas Tuchel can do two things simultaneously, chew gum and walk at the same time, is that when he gets in the press and he started getting, we saw the same thing at PSG when he started talking about other things other than football. You talk about the politics of the club at PSG, then things start go sideways. And regarding today's postponement, he was angry that it wasn't postponed. So there is a concern I have for Chelsea. It's like when him come in at the press and him start get sideways talk about, I understand that he's trying to protect Chelsea and he's trying to protect his players. But when he start get sideways on other things, that's when the football historically with him goes sideways.
So better, hold on. Tommy T. Look. Let me talk to Tommy T real quick. Tommy T. Look at the table. You have played 18 games. The other teams around you played 15, 17, 14 games, right? There are going to be teams that are complaining that they have to play so many games back to back that you are not going to complain about Tommy T in the next couple of weeks, yeah? So the time you take, what in the pain of playing 2 games, 3 games in 7 days, and put in a Champions League knockout tie within that 7 days too. You running that down when you are getting the pass right now, because the teams that are chasing you are teams that are going to be playing competitive games in a shorter space of time. All you had to do, Tommy T, was go out there and beat Watford. It's not like you're playing against Liverpool and you're down 7 players. It's Watford. You go out there, you stink it up and draw.
You talking about Wolves?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Sorry.
Don't this Wolves and classify them as Watford. I know the colors look
It's
similar.
not
All
Watford. It's not Liverpool. You're not playing against Man City. You never even need a substitute for win the game today. All you had to do was slip, trip, buck, and score one goal. And you under the top of the table or close top of the table.
Yeah, find a way to win. Find a way to win. Find a way. All right, regarding interruption in the league or potential pause in the league before we move away from our EPL roundup. Junior, the table. This is the table at Christmas. Man City top, Norwich bottom, Newcastle 10th. Your boy Eddie Howe and Newcastle look like them gone.
No, I am telling you the great escape is coming.
The great escape is coming. All right.
I believe it anyhow.
All right. David Ornstein of The Athletic tweeted, Premier League clubs will discuss at Monday's emergency meeting whether to postpone a round of festive matches due to the COVID-19 situation. Game week 20, parentheses 28, 29, and 30 December, most likely amid player welfare concerns, end quote. Premier League clubs and stakeholders will meet tomorrow in an emergency meeting to discuss the round of matches, of course, Boxing Day fixtures. Junior, your thoughts? What should happen here? Should they shut the league down? Or should they get rid of League Cup because they have League Cup action coming up for some of these clubs? What do you think should happen here? Or just shut down all football for the next 2 weeks?
All of the above. Just shut it down. Just shut it down. Tell the players them. Tell all the fans for the one go visit to the Nana in the hills. Go visit to the Nana. Go eat to the food. Go enjoy the vacation. Forward back. Get tested. If we don't have COVID, we'll sit down for the next 10 days. If we don't have COVID, forward back and play football. But shut it down. We know families are going to travel. It's a big travel season. First time in 2 years, a lot of people get a chance to really go out on the road. So the virus load is going to go up. It's not going to magically go down. The only way it's going to magically go down and stop the spread is if you shut it down. Just shut it down. It's not that hard of a decision.
But Junior, so one of the things, Premier League chief executive Richard Masters wrote a letter, according to the BBC, to the clubs and encourage vaccination amongst the teams. The Premier League is somewhere at vaccination rate of 68%. Other leagues like Scudetto and La Liga are in the 90s. One of the concerns that has been mentioned out there, if you shut it down for 2 weeks and these players now are out traveling or out doing their thing with their families, won't they show up in 2 weeks still positive when we're supposedly height?
Yes, they will, but guess what? You're not fighting the fire of COVID transmission amongst teams, COVID this and that, right? You're now keeping it self-isolated and keeping everything at home. So yes, we're shutting the league down for 2 weeks with the understanding that we're looking at a month off. They still need another 2 weeks for recovery, right?
And so Junior, and sorry, but what like a team like a Liverpool who will miss like two of their big major players for African Nations Cup, right? And they've been, Klopp has been very vocal about vaccination. He spoke at the post in his pre-match report saying that he encouraged players to get vaccinated. Liverpool cannot afford to kind of essentially shut it down, right? Because they're going to miss players, vital players, and come in sometime in January for African Nations Cup.
But that's why you take the 2 weeks off now. Take the 2 weeks off, which runs part of the African Nations Cup, right? You're going to get the games back. It's not like you're losing the games. You're going to get the games back.
Yeah, you're going to get the games back, but you're going to get the games back without your potential big players.
But okay, fine. Well, why you want me to tell Liverpool, don't have so much African ballers. No, it's
because that is a concern that I've heard from Liverpool fans.
It's sound away, but that's just a fact. Like the vaccine ship has sailed. That's not happening. We need to get off that and just say, you know what? If a man want to get vaccinated, him get vaccinated. If he don't want to get vaccinated, brother, you deal with the consequences. And if you get vaccinated, you deal with the consequences. But it's 2 years in with what? Almost a year with the vaccine. And people don't trust it. All right, EPL. All right, sports world. Or to stop selling that foolishness though. Because look at basketball. Look at Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving said, I'm not getting vaccinated. What did the Brooklyn Nets do? Oh, you know what? You know what, Kyrie? Come back and play. You play the road games, right? So it's time.
Road games except Toronto.
It's time for the federations to come out now and the FAs come out and say, all right, we'll keep it 100. It looks bad in the news when we have to postpone a game because of COVID transmission amongst players. It look bad, right?
Yeah.
That's bad PR. It makes the virus look worse than it really is, right? But they don't care about stopping the virus transmission because you look in the stands, you have the people that will hug up and bungle up, and you say to that chat, me not take a shine from your bedtime. We say to that chat, we don't see no mask. No, we can't force you to take the vaccine. But if I own a side, we can't force you to wear a mask in my establishment. So if I really was worried about stopping the virus, everybody have to wear a mask at a Premier League game.
So
and
the
if
EPL
you don't want the mask, don't come, right?
So the EPL did.
Let's not try to trick each other and say, oh, you know, we want to start the virus transmission. No, let's shut the league down. Be honest. Tell the people they're going to have fun. But when you come back, if you test positive, you can't play, and you lose the match fee for that game. You lose the fee. We don't want to hear nothing, and we keep moving after that. That's all I'm officer.
Yeah, and so to update football family, the EPL did put out new protocols for fans attending the games going forward, saying that their COVID status need to be known before they enter the venue. They also announced that fans need to wear masks. I don't know how enforceable these things are. Of course, we don't see fans wearing masks in the stands, as opposed to what I saw in the Fiorentina versus Sassuolo game, where a lot of those fans wore masks. So we will see. Tomorrow, the emergency meeting in Premier League clubs. David Ornstein of The Athletic says, quote, Premier League clubs will discuss at Monday's emergency meeting whether to postpone a round of festive matches due to the COVID-19 situation.
Hold on, Benton. Sorry.
Yes.
Jamaica Chelsea also said this. What about Chelsea? They go to the Club World Cup in February. So
point. The big point. What about so the schedule is now getting heavily dense.
So you know what's gonna happen, right?
You're gonna have a chance to get rid of some like League Cup, make League Cup go sit down.
League Cup go sit down, or the summer transfer window gets shot by about another 2 weeks because the season we're running to the summer again, going into the World Cup year. Yeah.
No, so one of my fundamental issue here is that the other leagues around Europe, in the big leagues, they have their Christmas break. You know, they play their games and they take off for Christmas and they return in January. The EPL, we've been going through COVID, and they have no protocols in place in case of an increase in number of cases, which they shouldn't have to have an emergency meeting tomorrow. There should have been protocol already in place says, if our caseload reach X, this is what's going to happen. And to the mere fact that they need to have a meeting tomorrow to try to hash out what needs to happen is party shop foolishness. So that is absolutely unacceptable. And Klopp said another important thing, Junior. Klopp said, it's something that we don't think about a lot, but once a player is test positive, then that player now, then the other players have to think about, did I interact with Thiago? Because Thiago tested positive for COVID before the Spurs game. So now the other player is saying, how much interaction did I have with Thiago? Let me get a lateral flow test. Because no, that
Hold on. No.
so it's all these mind game things too.
No, but club, shut up. DY said ball still a player, and every player and team dealing with the same challenges due to the pandemic. Club, and everybody was seeing. Stop acting like the players don't know the virus out there. Stop acting like when a player here said them test positive, everybody like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We never expect to hear this. Everybody enter into their facility knowing when them get tested, there's a chance them come back positive. Everybody do that. They've been living through that for the last 2 years. So it's not going to be no big revelation when we find out somebody positive. You just move on. All right, Thiago, you're positive. Bombard star. But just the my test and me negative. All right, brother. Don't worry yourself. Drink up your Gatorade here. See you in 10 days. I will keep it moving.
Football family will keep you up to date on what happened in the meeting tomorrow. Wall-to-wall coverage. If there's going to be a pause in Boxing Day games, like we said, they'll have an emergency meeting. Junior, before we step away from English football and European football, we have to salute the legendary himself, the one and only Mr. Sergio Kun Agüero, who retired officially from the game this week. Junior, what a player.
Jaja.
What a player. Junior, watching this brother at U20 World Cup, I actually thought that he probably could have been in the stratosphere of a Messi and CR7. Why didn't he get into that level? Did you see Maga or Skinny Agüero at Atletico Madrid and at Independiente?
Yes, but yes, Benton. Why don't sully the man name and put him in that? No, he was never seen in that light. Come on, but he's a great striker. And I would say, and it's not because he has a heart condition, not because it's a sentimental subject right now. I would say he has been the Premier League best striker in the 2000s.
Yeah, hands down.
Anybody for the last 21 years, from 2000 till now, tell me a Premier League striker that was more potent. And yes, I remember Luis Suarez. Yes, I remember my boy from Chelsea.
Drogba. Yeah.
I am putting Henry in the 90s, not in the 2000s. I think, all right, forget 2000 for the last decade, 2010s to 2021.
Yeah, man. Without a doubt.
Potent. And when you think about a Premier League striker, when you look at Agüero, you would not think that he'd be the best striker over the last 10, 15 years because he's very short, right? He's not the fastest brother in the world. He's not the most skilled. But him have that Gary Lineker thing to him where him just always at the right spot and somehow him just score.
Brother, don't this a baller now with man who have a shark on people goal, you know. Kun Agüero is a baller or was a baller. Gary Lineker just have a shark on man goal.
Whoa, don't say it.
Alright, next with Gary Lineker, make focus.
Gary Lineker, one of the best striker ever in England.
Ever in England, yes, definitely. Looking at these numbers by Sergio Agüero, man, what a player, absolute player. Just, it's sad to see him go out this way. He scored 260 goals in 390 appearances for Man City, 101 for Atletico Madrid in 234 appearances, and 23 goals in 56 appearances for Independiente. Scored 41 goals in 101 appearances for the national team. What a player. What an absolute baller.
What will he be remembered for? That iconic when Alex Ferguson and Manu looking at the board and Agüero, boom. He would just be remembered for that moment where if it wasn't for that moment, Man City would not be Man City today.
I honestly think that if Agüero ended up at Barcelona earlier, he probably would have been in the Ronaldo and Messi stratosphere.
No, because no, Benton.
No, come at me. Come at me. Anyone can come at me. Sergio Agüero, when you look at Sergio Agüero, he made his debut at what, 15 years old for Independiente. And you look at him in the Under-20 World Cup. You don't tell me that Sergio Agüero couldn't be in the stratosphere of Messi and CR7, brother.
I would say that he's in the stratosphere of Etu.
Oh man, Etu a baller. Big up Etu, my general. I will say, maybe I think Messi and Ronaldo probably took better care of their bodies because, of course, Sergio is reports that he's also a smoker and other stuff. So, and he's a man who like party and them things there. But, brother, no man, I think Sergio Agüero was a general man.
No, is a striker. But when you say Ronaldo and Messi, it's a different type of footballer.
Game changers, deadly, surgically can take over matches, the ability to take a team on his back. I remember when he was at Atletico Madrid, when Fernando Torres was a goal scorer left, and then old for Diego Forlan returned. It was the Sergio Agüero show. Now, granted, Atletico Madrid wasn't winning a lot of stuff, but.
No, but sorry. When you say Ronaldo and Messi, I'm thinking the package. I'm thinking skill. I'm thinking running the ball from midfield. Agüero never did that. Agüero was a pure striker. All right, put it this way: if Agüero went to Barcelona early, right?
Yeah,
he could have come close to Ronaldo phenomenon. He could have come close to Batistuta. He could have been Batistuta. That is the brother. He could have come closer to Batigol.
So Junior, you know, have Ronaldo Agüero above Batigol?
You crazy. Blasphemy. Madness.
Okay.
Madness, better Gabriel Batistuta.
No, Gabriel Batistuta was a general. Yes, he was a general. I probably need to go look on the numbers with the one there.
Agüero went to Barca early and got that Barca shine on him, right? Because what Agüero is remembered for, is single-handedly taking down the empire, and building an empire,
Yeah.
The years went take fighting Manchester United, right? If those years were taken on a bigger side, on a bigger stage, then he would have been closer.
Yes.
To Batistuta.
So the stage, the Man City stage, essentially handicap the brightness of Sergio Agüero, because I mean it wasn't a huge. They were just building something, right?
For the Liam fan, for the Liam
fans, yeah.
But for the real fan of football, they know that this brother created the stage where we sit down now and I watch. One my little boy from Man City, little Blanier youth. Foden.
Yeah.
He created the stage that Foden is at. He created the stage where you see the Man City pipeline. That is on the back of Sergio Agüero. That is his legacy. The man single-handedly take a team where have no fans, seen as the nice neighbors, to now running the league and consistently running. And if you really think about how hard that is, look at Leicester. When Leicester won the league one year, and look at what they are now.
Yeah.
And this brother win the league by himself. Big up Yaya Toure, Vincent Company, the whole works. Even Super Mario Balotelli. Big them up. But without Agüero, you guys don't get to where you are right now. And that is this brother's legacy.
Big 5 EPL titles, 6 EFL Cups, 1 FA Cup, and a Copa America title. Of course, he was more like a very, very bench warmer in the Copa America, but we just have to give him. And of course, he won 2 U20 World Championship. Big baller. Sergio Agüero definitely left his mark. Junior, before we get to yard ballers and wrap up the show quickly, you mentioned Champions League draw. Your thoughts on the big matches coming down, and we'll get more time to discuss this later on earlier in the new year. Manchester United probably will be seeing the back of the Champions League as they take on Atletico Madrid. Villarreal will play Juventus. PSG versus Real Madrid. Liverpool versus Inter Milan. Sporting Man City. Chelsea gets South Soap Lille. Bayern Munich plays FC Salzburg. Red Bull Salzburg.
Disgusting. What you mean by Man U are going to see the back of Champions League?
No, I mean, Atletico Madrid is supposed to beat Manchester United. Me not hide and talk.
Ronaldo does not lose to Atletico Madrid.
That is Real Madrid, Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo does not lose to Atletico Madrid. You remember the Kahuna start?
Yes, that is Real Madrid's Ronaldo, brother. This is Manchester United Ronaldo. And speaking of Manchester United family, you weren't here when we discussed your new manager, Ralph Ragnick. Take a minute and get your thoughts in. We're pushing up against the clock on your new manager.
I only need 8 seconds because we pressing the ball and scoring in 8 seconds. That's all I need.
So that the whole foot side, I go press ball and score?
We have been pressing.
Okay, all right.
And if you notice how many young players played the man played the whole academy against young boys. So yes, Benton, you are right. This is an old foot side, can't press nobody. But it's not that side I'm using. Right? So we'll finally get a real coach. So all of this little foolishness the whole lot used to do for the last 2.5 years, attack and add on the bread, all of this, and we still believe it all. Wanna shape up now, it's done.
Fine, big up. Finally we get some competition with a real coach from the Empire. Junior, before we step away from the Champions League draw, Paris versus Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti has Madrid clicking. Football family, will discuss this more in depth as the clash comes up. But your boy Pochettino might be on his way out here.
I think I think Carlo is going to take pride in beating PSG. I think Vinicius Junior is going to take pride in beating 2 Barca old boys and their old captain. Right? So is Patch, just pack up your things, yeah.
No, I mean, them have the GOAT, Lionel Messi. Big up to Jimmy Kim watching us. Big up to Jimmy. Says Lionel is the GOAT. And PSG will be fine. I mean, this is why they transfer Sergio Ramos. This is why they transfer Lionel Messi. This is why they transfer these big name players for this big moment. Junior, the only thing we're going to say about Europa League as we go to yard ballers quickly is that Barcelona will play Napoli. This is the end of it for Barcelona, right?
Yo, if I was Xavi, well, no, they have to win the Europa League.
No, but Junior, I don't know. This is the end. I don't think this Barcelona outfit can get past this Napoli team.
I don't think so either, but they have to because That be no Champions League next year.
I mean, sometimes you just need to hold your corner easy and build back better.
That's true.
And that's, you're not entitled to play, I mean, Champions League. All right, Junior, we are going to go my way out in about, we want to update the family on Manning and DaCosta Cup and look at yard ballers first. Because, come on, normally a fair show, yard ballers thing. And the standing in the DaCosta Cup, what? 3 teams met the semifinals already. Dintil, Mannings, big up Mannings. Garvey Massey qualified for the semifinal. Clarendon, Cornwall, Manchester, and McGrath are in Group 4. Waiting, their fixtures are coming up for Group 4. Clarendon probably more than likely are going to join this outfit. Junior, do you expect Tisha Hyde and Clarendon to win this DaCosta Cup thing?
You know, I carry Mannings.
Yeah, but we don't want to Woolmer salt up people, salt here, brother. Just stay over there, so.
No, but but glad we get to see some of the game, right? And you can't predict these games. You just can't. You just have to just say, your side of Mannings, but go with your side.
Yeah, you just have to go with your side. You just have to go. And you know what? Big up to Raheem Brown of Stets.
Yeah.
What a goal. Raheem Brown of Stets beat the brakes of From Technical. Big up to the From Technical family because that's a my corner, my bush. But then I got a T kick in, 6-0 or 5-0 from Stets. And Raheem Brown scored a spectacular goal, football family. Check that out on YouTube. I will say, Raheem Brown does not look like a high schooler. He look like a big man. So I hope Issa check age paper and I do all sorts of checks because Raheem Brown look extra big, brother. I don't care how much yam and dumpling you want yam, but the man they look big. Junior, looking at Manning Cup, the semi-final is set for the Manning Cup teams. We're just going to take a look at it real quickly. Let me see if I can get the Manning Cup schedule up here. Manning Cup, let's get this UEFA League. Yeah, just Jamaica College and Stats, Kingston College and Charlie Smith are the 4 semi-finalists. Junior, who do you think is gonna make it to the semi-final and win this thing?
Well, I go with college, JC.
Yeah, I mean, our family, Mona and Craig are out. I mean, Craig did say they're gonna win, but it's just a big boy football. This.
Yeah. I don't know how Craig Butler get it at this with Mona, but
yeah, I don't know how he reached.
I don't know how he reached. JC to the world.
Yeah, so JC. Kingston College has been looking good, but yeah, JC is definitely the favorite.
Biggest question though is what's going on with charges. It has the years of turnover, have they finally not gotten a class right?
Look like it because they want pick up 6. How much JC give them? I think JC give them must be 5 or 6. It was a beating, and that's unusual for a George's team to get to that kick up against JC. Yeah, Yeah, but the games have been entertaining. It's good to see the players playing. Good to see the players getting out there playing. The games have been entertaining, like you said. They're unpredictable, and I mean it's just schoolboy football have a different energy. So big up to Clarendon College. I have to give mad props to Lenworth, Teacher Hyde, and what he has done with Clarendon College. I mean, continuously they are a force in DaCosta Cup.
Yep.
Yeah. And also one more yard ballers up there, Junior. Your boy Shamar Nicholson scored a hat trick. Your thoughts? Shamar Nicholson, if you carry them hat trick, they come on Jamaica and World Cup qualifiers coming in January.
Just like Conte and Tottenham, we can't look for one performance and they think he has arrived and ready to unseat Antonio as a starting number 9. Consistency, it's good, but consistency.
Consistency is good.
Always a problem.
All right, football family, we're wrapping up yard ballers and ball chat. Cameroon is away this week. We're going to go my yard for the evening. One more other statement, Junior and Yard Ballers discussion. I want to get your thoughts on it. Junior Flemings reportedly signed with Toulouse FC in second division in French football, pushing up against the clock. Your thoughts? You were aware. Huge opportunity for Junior Fleming.
Do I have permission to be honest?
I mean, it's an honest show. Ballchat is honest. 100 when I go around bush and talk.
I am happy for Junior Fleming with what he went through with the league. What NW? What the name? NWSL or whatever?
No, it's not NWSL. It's the women's league, brother.
Whatever.
USL, man.
Well, oh, sorry. Donovan kind of had me confused. That's why I said NWSL.
All right, football family, those are the views of Junior Pringlin and not Ballchat, you know.
Can I be honest? And you say it's an honest show. So I'm being honest.
Yeah.
We saw what he went through, right? Whether he said what he said, yes or no, we saw how they tried their best to tear him down, right? Now he can say that he's playing in France in a team that, if I'm not mistaken, are in the promotion fight, right? I think they were leading.
Yeah, they're right. They're right on the cusp. If they continue, they should get promoted into League One next year.
So think about that. When Junior Fleming, we had him on the show, right? And this was before the incident. And when the incident occurred, none of us thought that we would be talking to a possible League One striker, right? And look at him now. So that shows perseverance. That shows luck. But what comes with luck is hard work, right? So put in the hard work. Junior has put in his hard work, paid his debts, paid his dues. And I'm happy for him. And I really hope he go over there, stay injury-free, stay COVID-free, and go over there and put in a good shift and become a perennial League One striker, right? It's not that hard for somebody with his talent. He is a League One baller, in my opinion. He's a League One winger.
Yeah.
So go there and do it.
Yeah, man. Go forward and do. Go forward and do. Football family, this is the last show before Christmas. When I tell Junior to stay wide of them salt people there.
Yo, I last show before New Year's.
No, but Boxing Day, providing that EPL is not cancelled. Boxing Day, Ballchat at work. I want to know. Come on, have a whole heap of thing to get off our chest.
All right.
Football family, I really appreciate you guys for joining us. Whatever you do, family, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, stay safe, respect each other, and protect each other, protect the most vulnerable among us, family.
Respect 6 feet space to come. Me just come off of COVID, it rough.
Yes, stay wide of the people, and ultimately also have some fun, family. I mean, this pandemic thing has been going on for so long. Try to get out, interact in a safe way. Have some fun so you don't go crazy in your house, lock up yourself in your house. But most importantly, stay yourself, protect each other. We'll let you know what the EPL decide tomorrow. Yo, we're gone. We have no family.
Later. And Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. And happy whatever else you may celebrate.